Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Mustang 09 or Sean here, and I got another vlog for you today. This one's pretty exciting like usual. I always say it's a pretty exciting vlog, but it really is. You know, I had a really good weekend. I try and have fun on the weekends. We work hard all week long to just be bored and not do anything on the weekend and not enjoy your time off of work. So when I have time off work, I try and make sure that I got something going on that I'm gonna be excited about, and hopefully you guys are excited about. Even though you didn't get to go with me, hopefully my story was like you're there with me, and you can enjoy it just as much as I can. This weekend was UFC 171. If you don't know what UFC is, it's the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's mixed martial arts, and it's just an overall really good time. I went there with my dad, my two little brothers, a good buddy of mine, and then we ended up having extra tickets. So I called another guy. He drives a Mitsubishi Evo 10, and I think he's gonna let me review it. If he doesn't, then he better now, because I gave him a free ticket to the event. So he'll be watching this. UFC 171 was amazing. I told you guys in my last vlog that I was looking forward to it, and I think I understated that, because the whole week I couldn't sleep. I would stay up late searching the fighters, looking at all the videos of the fighters, getting to know the ones I don't know, and it was like I was a kid the day before Christmas, and I was just so ready for the event to happen. The event finally came, and I got to go to the weigh-ins on Friday.
Introducing the first fighter, Ruthless Lawler. And his opponent, Johny Big Rig Hendricks.
After the weigh-ins was the UFC 171 fight, and it was held at American Airlines Center. That's where the Dallas Mavericks play, the Dallas Stars, and it's a pretty cool event center. And then on Saturday was the UFC 171 fight. So we went there, and Johny Hendricks was fighting Lawler for the welterweight belt, for the title belt. And if you don't know, Hendricks was previously in a fight with George St. Pierre, and it was a controversial ending where at the end of that fight, GSP looked like he got hit by a truck. Johny Hendricks looked like he woke up from bed, really. There were no marks on him. And so I honestly thought Johny Hendricks won that fight 3 rounds to 2, which would have given him the belt. But in MMA and UFC, you really honestly can't leave the decision up to the judges, because when you do that, it could go either way. Especially when you're fighting for the belt. You need to be decisive and make it clear that you won that belt. If there's any doubt left, then the judges are just going to pick the remaining champion. I mean, he's held the belt for the last like 6 or 7 years. I think he's the longest guy to ever hold a title belt, GSP that is. And so Johny Hendricks didn't win that belt. Fast forward to this Saturday, he's fighting for that belt against Lawler. Now, a little backstory on Johny Hendricks. He was a collegiate wrestler from OSU, but he now resides in my hometown, which is really cool because we tend to see him around town. He isn't like a celebrity of any sorts to himself. He just looks at himself as a regular citizen. He goes out, and a week before the fight, I was eating at Texas Roadhouse, and Johny Hendricks is sitting 2 booths down, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. When he got up from dinner, I shook his hand and said, "Hey man, good luck on the next fight. I thought you did great on your last fight." Me and my buddy, I actually was eating dinner with my buddy at the time that was going with me, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna be there at the fights rooting you on, cheering for you, dude." And he goes, "Man, that's awesome, I appreciate it. God bless you guys, thanks so much for your support, and hopefully we get to see you out there." I know he really wasn't gonna get to see us. His mindset was so focused for that fight. He stayed in that room and just prepared. And he needed to, because that fight was a brawl. It was your classic boxing match, man. They were standing toe to toe, face to face, just throwing blows. And man, a couple of times, like the first couple rounds, I thought, well, the second round, the first round was kind of it was almost a wash, but I think Hendricks was on top on that. I think he definitely took the first round. Second round came out, Hendrix is throwing bows, man. He is throwing punches and big hits. I'm talking, Robbie looked a little rocked sometimes. And I think Robbie's defense mechanism is he smiles when he gets hit hard, because Hendrix was laying him on him and Lawler was just kind of cheesing and grinning, and I was like, there's no way that didn't hurt him, because that is a hard knock right there. Second round, Hendrix wins. I thought, or he won the second round, and I thought he was going to knock Lawler out. It ended up not happening. Third round comes out, and Hendrix starting to get a little slower and kind of getting a little cocky, I would say. So Lawler took advantage, and Lawler won that round. Go on to the fourth round. About the same thing happened in the third round. Lawler came out, he rocked Johny a couple of times, and it got me so scared. I was so nervous those third and fourth rounds when Hendrix seemed to just be in there and taking the blows and not really giving much back. I was like gonna pull my hair out. And so anytime Hendrix landed a punch, I was jumping out of my chair and I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And between the fourth and fifth round, I'm like, I've lost my mind. I don't know what to do anymore, because it's such a close fight. And Hendrix looked like he was getting hurt in the fourth round. So going to the fifth, super nervous. I look over and my buddy and my little brother are sitting there laughing at me because I'm stressing out so much, but I was so into it, man. It was like, this guy's a local guy now. I met him just a week ago. I've been a big fan of his since he was been in the UFC, and I want this guy to get what he deserved from the last fight and win this belt. So fifth round comes out, and they're toe-to-toe again. All 5 rounds toe-to-toe. And so Hendrix is throwing, Robbie's throwing, and then it's winding down, and to be honest, it looks like a complete tie on the 5th round. And Hendrix knows that he can't let this end this way. He has to make it decisive. So what does he do? Well, being a collegiate wrestler, he takes Lawler to the mat. And I don't know if you know, but in UFC, when you take somebody down to the ground, you score points. UFC is a points-based system, so strikes, takedowns, takedown defenses, and then you get points for all that. I'm not exactly clear on how they judge the point system, but I do know that it's points-based. So with him taking it down, it was pretty decisive that he won the 5th round, just because of significant strikes landed and then the takedown. That all added up for Hendrix to win the 5th round. So in my head, Hendrix won 1, 2, and 5. Those are the rounds he won. And sure enough, those are the rounds that I think the judges gave him. And he got the belt. And I was ecstatic. I could finally relax and just celebrate with him, you know? I was not sitting very close. But in my mind, when I was yelling for him, he was hearing me. And it was just so exciting to be in that building and watch him take that belt. And he's such a genuine guy. And Lawler put up a heck of a fight. I watched the post-fight conference, and Robbie Lawler didn't take anything away from Hendrix's win. He gave him major props, was real respectable, and it was a very close fight. If it wasn't for the takedown in the 5th round, I really don't know how it would have gone. Lawler fought his heart out, and he's a great guy, and so is Hendrix. And we'll see how Hendrix does when he has to defend that belt for the first time. So UFC 171 was super exciting to me. I had a blast. If you guys watched it on TV, let me know what you think about it. Let me know some of the other fights that you really liked. Vince St. Preux, he's a younger guy. He used to play college football, and he joined into the UFC. Well, he got this guy in this weird choke that I had never seen before, because it looked like he was going to get tapped out from a choke. In all actuality, he had the other guy passed out, and we didn't even know it. The ref went over there and tapped the other guy on the arm, and he didn't respond. And so they threw Vince St. Preux off of him, and sure enough, the dude was asleep. And that was so surprising to me. He got him in a choke called a Von Flute choke, and that was crazy. I had to go and watch many YouTube videos on that because that was just nuts. So UFC 171 was great. If you can't tell, I've talked about it for like 10 minutes and I'm super excited about it. So I hope that wasn't too boring for you guys. I'm good. He's good. He's a pro. Pro street driver. Not pro street, but professional at driving on the street. I've got to tell you guys, I kind of have to brag. I have probably the coolest neighbor ever. He's an older gentleman. He is the original homeowner of his house, and I don't know his real name. Like, he's never really told me his real name. What he's told me is to call him Pawpaw, because he's an older gentleman, he's got grandkids, he's got kids, and he's just a super cool guy, so I call him Pawpaw. So Pawpaw lives next door to me, he's the left side of me, and he drives home some of the coolest cars ever. And I'm not just saying that to be saying that. There's seriously some cool cars. He drove home an old Cuda the other day, which that thing was wicked. It was purple, and it had some wheels that were matched it, and that thing just looked wild. And unfortunately, I was gone to dinner when he came and knocked on my door, and he wanted to let me drive it. He's never asked me to drive one of the cars before, but I was super excited and disappointed at the same time, because I so wanted to drive that car. Along with the Barracuda, he's driven home a single turbo Viper, which is a big turbo Viper. He's driven home a twin turbo Vet, a Pantera. He's driven home this. He has this real cool Ford F-150. So it's a black F-150 extended cab short bed, and he has a Lightning motor in it, along with the F-250 driveline. So it's a pretty cool setup. I don't know how he got it all to work, but they do some crazy stuff at the shop that he works at, and he's actually invited me to come up there and film some of the cars. And I don't know if he'll let me drive them, but they've got everything from a 1930 something car to a 2011 GT 500. So I'm kind of excited. I really want to go up there and see what I get my hands on, at least film. I mean, filming them would be great. And then if you let me drive them, that would just icing on the cake right there. My neighbor's really cool, and the other day, the wife and I came home from dinner, and I had to use the restroom, guys. I had to go bad. So once we pulled in the driveway, I just split. I took off into the house and used the restroom. Now, I don't know where my clicker is for my garage door, for my side of the garage. I have no idea where it's at. So what usually has to do is, I usually have to have my wife go in, go through the house, and then click the garage door open. Well, I didn't have time to wait for that, because like I said, I had to go, like go. And I pulled in the driveway and split. Took off, ran to the house, used the restroom, and about 35-40 minutes later when I was done, I was just like absent-minded to the whole fact that I had just parked my car in the driveway and left it outside. And not that I'm worried about anybody messing with it or stealing it or anything like that. It's just normally I park it in the garage, so it's kind of weird when it's parked outside. Well, Pawpaw noticed, and when I was washing my car today, he came by and was like, "Hey, you know you left that outside?" And I was like, "Left what outside?" "You left that car outside." I said, "Oh, I did leave it outside. I totally forgot about that." And he was like, "I almost came and knocked on your door and told you to pull it in your garage." And I was like, "Man, I'm so glad you said that, because that makes me just know that you're watching it. You're keeping an eye out for me." And there's nothing better than having really cool neighbors, one that share the same kind of mindset with you in the hobbies that is cars, and also they have your back. You know, they're looking out for you. They're looking out for your things, and he knows that I really like this car. He sees me hand wash it like two times a week, 3 times a week if it's raining. So it just really made me happy to know that he's looking out for me, and looking out for my wife, and that he's got our back on stuff. So pretty cool neighbor. What about your neighbors? Do you guys have cool neighbors, or are they like old crotchety old women that just don't like you? Because I got one of those. I got one of them neighbors that don't like me. My car's too loud, I'm playing my music too loud, and I need to mow my yard more often. So you can keep complaining, because I'm loving life, and all you do is complain. So that's your bad. So let me know what your guys is like, if you have good neighbors, bad neighbors, or if you just don't even talk to your neighbors. Guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the vlog today. I really appreciate all of you that come back and click these vlogs. To be honest, the vlogs are like some of the better videos on my channel as far as views and ratings and comments go. I tend to get more views on all my vlogs. So if you haven't checked out my other videos, go check those out. If you haven't looked at my Dallas Auto Show one yet, you'll notice I saw a Pagani. I've seen, what else was there that was pretty cool? The 2015 Mustang. I think the opening clip to that video with a 2015 Mustang, it's like a 30-second clip, is awesome. So go check that out. Also, guys, like I said, thanks so much for the likes, the subscribes, the videos. We're almost at 230 subscribers. So once we hit that 250, 300 mark, man, it's gonna get crazy. So I've got some fun stuff planned. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So as always, it's Mustang 09er Sean here, and I appreciate you watching the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You guys rock. We'll see y'all later.